We didn't always watch football at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Protect the football. Buffalo Wild Wings. Football the way it should be.
Welcome to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Corner here at the Hoopsville National Invitational Classic at Stevenson University. I'm Dave McHugh, host of Hoopsville, and joined by yet another coach taking part here in the Hoopsville Classic, John Lamanna from Franciscan. Coach, welcome to not only the season, but welcome to the Hoopsville Classic.
Thank you so much. Really happy to be here and to be a part of this fantastic tournament. It's been great thus far.
Well, we appreciated you coming and taking part in the inaugural event. Last night you take on Mass Boston. Tonight, or today, we're talking to you before that game against Gallaudet. Of course, you started the season with a trip to Bethany, which geographically made sense from the trip from Ohio. You had a nice stopping point along the way, but it's been a tough start to the season.
Yeah, it has. We started off here a little slow. We have essentially a new group with us with only 3 returners from last year, and we're still trying to fill our way through, get to know each other, and learn each other's strengths and weaknesses. And so there are times where in the last 2 games things looked good, and there were times things didn't look very good. And so it's just part of the process. And pleased with the direction we're going right now. We have another opportunity today to see if we can take another step forward. And
really, you allude to it, 3 returners coming back from last year or season. You know, you are in a building sense, second year full-time as a D3 member. It's kind of weird to say with a program that young that you're in a rebuilding stage, but essentially you are. I mean, not only have you been building the basics, but you're kind of rebuilding the program. Yeah,
so essentially how we look at it, and we talk to our guys about this, is that we are building a foundation for Franciscan basketball for our immediate future, as well as for the future of the program, with being so new to athletics here at the Division III level. It's a chance to really leave a legacy, because all these student athletes that are in our program are laying that foundation to be the first in whatever we achieve. So,
is it hard to kind of sell that, you know, the immediate success may not be there, but we're trying to build for the future, and we want you to be part of that, even if it doesn't happen necessarily with your class or with your year?
Yeah, it's we don't try to look at it in terms of that big of a picture, because, well, from a coaching standpoint, I do look at that in terms of that big of a picture. But with our guys, we try to take it game by game, and we try to pinpoint the successes that we're having in terms of building to what our goals are. And as long as we just keep slowly taking those steps forward, we have some pieces that I feel we could have a pretty decent season. So
you started with Bethany, as we already mentioned, tough opponent with that game. You then take on a very different squad in Mass Boston, though similar. You and I were talking about full court pressure from both teams. Now you take on a Gallaudet squad, very different style completely. Yes. What's the rest of the season look like? I mean, how you talk about hopefully having a good season. How do you see the next days, weeks, and even months ahead?
So when we set up our non-conference schedule, we set it up to prepare us for our conference play, and within our conference AMCC, we're going to experience teams that are going to full court press us for 40 straight minutes. We're going to experience teams that zone us for almost 40 minutes, which we're going to see tonight with Gallaudet. So it's going to be able to put us in positions to where we'll be able to learn from it, build off of it, and once league play comes to us, we'll be able to review those tapes again and see what we did well, see the areas that we can improve on, and make some minor adjustments to hopefully put us in a better position.
Second year coach, if anybody interested got wrangled into doing this, because it used to be with head coach Gary Stewart of Stevenson. Second year coach, you're obviously second year getting used to the conference. It's a very variety type conference, not only in talent but in travel and locations. How do you prepare for that? Have you even adjusted after just the first year?
That's a great question. It is an adjustment, and it's still a learning process for myself, because the travel is different from what I've experienced, and it's trying to understand the nuances of it. And our conference flip-flops each year. The men played first last year. Now the men are playing second this year, and so I'm going to have to readjust. I can't do what we did last year in terms of pregame stuff. And so this year is going to be another learning experience, and hopefully as we move forward we'll get a nice rhythm down.
How do you see the AMC AMCC shaping up this year?
I haven't seen too many scores yet, but in terms of the returners, we were a young league last year. Returned 2 co-player of the year. They were juniors. They're coming back again this year. So it's going to be another strong league like it was last year, and hopefully we're going to be in the mix with it as a goal.
Something that's interesting is you have an 0-1 season last year. You only have 3 guys coming back. There's no real memory of that season. You don't get that often in college athletics. Usually you still have a good base there. Goes, we haven't won a game yet. Is that almost like a restart for you?
It is. We're in a unique scenario because we're essentially in year 1 all over again. We don't talk about last year. There's not much to talk about last year. Within the 3 returners, there are times where I'll talk with them individually, see what we did good last year, see what we're doing good this year in comparison to last year, just for that maturation process. But there's not real much discussion, and so it's really kind of starting from square one all over again, which is a great challenge, and I love it.
Talk a little bit about the Franciscan experience. Obviously, a Catholic institution. You have a father who comes along and sits on your bench. Not rare. I've seen that with other Catholic institutions, but not all. What is that experience like? How have you fit into that experience?
For sure. Franciscan is a unique Catholic school. We're very strong in the spiritual aspect, and we incorporate that in our basketball program. And we just had mass this morning before we came over to the gym, and our basketball program reflects what our campus environment and atmosphere is like, and it's a real strong spiritual environment, and we carry that over, and we feel like we're trying to develop the whole person instead of just focusing on basketball. We try to make it a little broader and try to get a little more out of our experience. So.
Franciscan's head coach John Lamanna joining us here. Coach, Hoopsville tradition is we always give the coach or the guest the final word. Any final thoughts you want to share with those who may be tuning in?
Well, first and foremost, just we're fortunate to be a part of this, and looking forward to what our season has ahead of us, and appreciate the support and all of our parents that are out there and watching this and so forth, and look forward to seeing all of you at some of our games.
Very good. Like I said, Coach John Lamanna from Franciscan, and this has been another installment of the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Corner from the Hoopsville National Invitational Classic.